Welcome back to Tales of Praxis, everyone. I'm Aaron Suduko, the founder of With the Terrible Fate. If you've been watching the stream so far, you might notice that things look a little different this time. I figured it was time to hopefully make the streaming mode of presentation a little prettier and more digestible for you all. So, despite the fact that I started this off basically as an opportunity to extend my typical gaming setup, I now have a very atypical setup, working from what has quickly become the streaming dedicated portion of my little apartment. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you find it useful. I imagine there will probably be a good number of hopefully amusing technical gaffes along the way. So, especially if you've seen the stream before this and you tune in, and if anything seems off, like audio balancing or whatnot, just let me know. Hopefully, there will be many more degrees of freedom with all of that now versus in the past. But to get down to the good business of continuing to work through Tales of Symphonia, last time we were continuing on our journey to try to save Colette from her sickness, the same sickness that Martel had. We journeyed through the Ymir Woods, found Heimdall, discovered that it has quite a bit of baggage in its own past with the relationship between elves and half-elves. We fought a whole lot of plants in order to get the mana leaf herb and had some pretty bonkers revelations in terms of learning that Mythos is the same as Yggdrasil, the head of the Desians, and Crucius both, and that our boy Kratos was actually one of his original companions 4,000 years ago, along with Martel and Ewan. So there's a lot more to discover. We got a hint that maybe Zelos is up to something, but we ultimately arrived at the Tower of Salvation in order to attempt to get the mana fragment, I think is the key word, the last thing that we need to hopefully be able to save Colette. But alas, we were ambushed by Kratos and a variety of angels and captured and taken deeper into, I think still the Tower of Salvation is technically where we were, only to learn the true impact of Regal's hands and the power that he bound away out of guilt for what he had to do to Alicia. But he was willing to put those hands to work to save the party from their imprisonment and to work towards reuniting the two worlds. The mission, as we now understand it, to basically undo what Mythos did thousands of years ago. So, with that, we're going to jump on into it, go on exploration, and I had a lot of fun chatting with all the good viewers last time about everything to do with the game and a variety of other just ancillary things to do with the storytelling of video games that came up. So if you want to jump into the chat, I hopefully have rigged this up right so that it'll still show up on the screen for you viewing at home or viewing the VOD on Twitch or YouTube after the fact. But we'll learn as we go together. Well, let's get into it. Well, Gaia. Probably the only time in the game that I would choose to control Colette, except for the very important journey of naming all the dogs, as we've already seen on our playthrough so far.
They're all angels. We're gonna get caught if we keep wandering around here.
You're right. We'll pretend to be Colette's prisoners. She should be fine because she's an angel.
Okay.
Further underscoring how much the angels have in common with the designs, I guess. Rerun of when they had to pretend to be prisoners in order to infiltrate the design base. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. I was saying, I think maybe before you came on, just let me know if there are any tweaks that need to be made, especially with the audio balancing. Yes, I am aiming for the minimal amount of obstruction so we can just enjoy the game together as a nice little literary studies family. So basically, and I think a lot of this was already implicit, but if these angels are to be believed, the entire structure of this division of the world and they're vying for a single mana source is really for the preservation of Martel, her spirit, kind of in like a giant universal cryogenic chamber, you might imagine. Hey, welcome back. Good to see you again. I'm already getting frustrated. It looks like the chat is not appearing on the screen, even though I distinctly asked it to. But we'll see. I tried to fix it. If it didn't get fixed, then I'll tinker with it afterwards. And this will be the one special stream where if you didn't tune in live, you missed the other side of the conversation. But I'm sure we'll figure out how to not make that an ongoing issue. I thought those might be chests.
Hi. Could I please have a fragment of mana?
Fragments of mana are no longer being distributed. Return to your area.
You won't give us one?
A human?
These are the subjects needed for the Crucius crystal research.
High X-sphere research. I see. Now that you mention it, I've heard that research involving humans were being conducted.
Yes, exactly. And we require a fragment of mana for that purpose.
Understood. Then please show me your identification.
So close.
Do we need that?
Of course. Lord Kratos.
We need a fragment of mana for the ritual of the Chosen. I've sent a courier over to pick it up.
Understood.
Your timing is impeccable.
Yeah, that's us.
Are you saying you're Lord Kratos' couriers?
Hey, yeah.
Silence, human.
We're with Kratos.
But just a moment ago, you said you were going to use it for high X-sphere research.
That's right. And it just so happens that it's also needed in the ritual, so we came to retrieve it.
They call her Silver Tongue Rain.
Please hurry.
But without identification. Besides, you seem to be of the Desian class, and have humans among you.
While you're complaining about these little nitpicky details, you're keeping Yggdrasil waiting. Do you want to tick him off?
That's right. Lord Yggdrasil is scary if you cross him.
All right. Make sure you get it to them.
And that's how we saved our best friend by bullying an angel. Only in Tales of Symphonia, ladies and gents. Yeah, seriously. Also, the fact that the human prisoners, like Lloyd, are the ones bullying the angel into doing what they want. But that's just how assertive Lloyd is. Even if he were a prisoner, he would get shit done. Okay, I think I fixed the chat also. It was buried beneath the game video on my overlays. We're learning step by step. Yeah, really, in an ideal world, Regal would just carry around a bunch of extra sets of handcuffs so they could just act like prisoners a little bit more, even if they still had to carry their weapons on them. Man, I forgot how much of Presea's wrestling with her identity and the time she lost is constrained to skits. It really is. I mean, I love the format of the little, almost theatrical asides, because I was thinking about it today. They do feel almost like soliloquies if it's a single character or just something that's set apart from the main game. But it does kind of bum me out that I think a lot of people treat them as missable or stuff that you can just ignore because there's so many of them for that reason. And so much character development is embedded into the skits that you really don't get in just the main story. Man, it might be my bias just because, again, I cannot stress the number of times enough that I played Tales of Symphonia front to back as a kid. But I was going through Tales of the Abyss some more today and yesterday just because, as I mentioned last time, I'm working on this article on it. And I feel like it's much easier to find all of the Devil's Arms, these weapons that we're acquiring through these like evil boxes based on the quest we started in Flanor, here in Tales of Symphonia than it is in Tales of the Abyss, because most of the weapons in Tales of the Abyss are, you have to go pretty out of your way and put in a significant amount of legwork in order to get them, and doing things that you wouldn't otherwise do in the main story. But it's treated as like probably the most significant side quest. Like, it's fully voiced by all the voice actors, and it's very much a Tales game of the same era as this one, where not everything is voiced. But with Tales of Symphonia, for the most part, you kind of run into them naturally as you're going. You know, and the thing that bums me out about that is I think it's only becoming more common as we just get oversaturated with more games being released all the time, one after another, where I've been complaining about this a lot for the last few months in the things I've written and lectured about. Because I feel like there's just such a pressure we put on ourselves because the industry kind of puts it out there where we have to rush to be ready to digest the next game. So there's all this hype for months and months, or sometimes even years, about a game getting ready to come out. And then by the time it's out, you're almost exhausted by being so excited about it and ready for it. And so you feel like you just have to rush through it to be ready for whatever game has been hyped to be released next. And it can end up, especially because it's a game where there are tasks and objectives for you to complete, feeling more like a chore than a world of fiction or anything else to experience and engage with. So I think that's really sadly common, but oh my god, I mean, especially of the games where I really buy into and love and appreciate their worlds and stories, I would much rather spend just like 100 hours there than 20 hours a piece in 5 games that I was less invested in, just to feel like I'm staying current, you know? But it's a big time commitment, so I understand that. All right, I think we got the keyword of a magic sword that was related to Origin last time when we were learning about the history of Mythos and how he split the world. But now we're getting a little more context from these angels. Again, talking to NPCs, paying off, right? Origin lies asleep, and as long as that's the case, Yggdrasil will hold dominion over the Eternal Sword, which I think we can infer was the sword that enabled him to split the world in the first place. And presumably might have something to do with reuniting the worlds. kind of lost track if I hit every floor there, but let's say that I did. We went there already. Talk to you. Ooh, the previous vessel of Martel came 800 years ago. Wonder, would that have been the Spiritua we've heard about before? Or is that a different chosen? Or just a different vessel, maybe not even derived from the chosen system? Which is interesting too, so if we think about like the last vessel that actually made it this far showed up 800 years ago, basically 25% of the way earlier than we are now relative to the overall amount of time that's passed since Mythos and his company's journey in the world, then that might explain, that might at least be one explanation of all the bodies and the coffins in the Tower of Salvation, if just all those chosen were either failures in terms of dying in the journey and not adequately prepared, or just not ultimately like the right genetic matches for Martel and were discarded or something. So that might be a way into that thing that has puzzled me since I was a kid. I think that's the onus that games have, right? Like what you're saying in terms of modern games like Forbidden West, and sometimes feeling as though games like that don't really make all that dialogue worthwhile and additive, right? Like, I think to me that says it's incumbent on game designers to really recognize the investment that they're asking of their player if they really want their player to spend the time to invest in this world and game, which they should, right? They should treat it as an overall experience that's worthy of their time. But for that to be the case, it really should, I think, be the sort of fictional object where everything in it, including optional NPC dialogue, all bends towards the singular storytelling theme and helps you to get a better handle on what's going on in the world and why you should care about it, as opposed to just filler text where, you know, they got some junior writer to just add it to the game because they wanted to be able to check off for, you know, game reviewers that the game includes X hundred hours of content or something. So does anyone really want that? Just to be able to say that they played a really long game because it's really long? I hope that's not the case for people. It's certainly not the case for me. I end up spending a lot of time in the games I really love because there's a lot there that adds to it. But that's just a consequence of the game being really built out in a way that makes the themes more robust, not simply adding content for the sake of length. Alright, we can't do anything in this wing yet, looks like. Maybe up here? Yeah, it is like they're just, like they talk about ascending evolutionarily, but it's really just like they've sort of given up their emotions and ability to recognize other people as anything other than objectives or machines. These angels, I mean. The blessed clumsiness of Colette. Hadn't happened in a while, but I know you didn't forget about it. The Idea District. Leave it to the Holy Capital to have an Idea District. Yes. One of my favorite things that comes up in I think pretty much all of the Tales games is their propensity for libraries. And again, talk about additional information. Like, you don't have to read the kind of stuff that's on the screen now, but almost always it pays off in terms of not just reminding you of this very large and complicated world, but actually giving you more information. I was literally earlier today hanging out in the libraries in Doth in the world of Tales of the Abyss, if anyone knows it, just to, to do research for the article that I'm writing. Okay, so the Sword of the Pact with Origin, which is also what sundered the world in the first place, is also what's keeping Darius Garland bound to the world as opposed to floating off through space. Alright, so notice we flagged last time on the stream that it wasn't clear why Mythos split the world to begin with, but it sounds like from this account at least, which may or may not be propaganda, that it was really to put a ceiling on the advancement of society to stop humans, presumably, from inciting violence and begetting more wars, like the Karlan War way back in the day. When you say that, do you mean what, like the thought being, like what if an AI decided that humans aren't good for the world and so is trying to, like, suppress them as a species? Is that what you mean? Never miss an opportunity to restock, folks. Yeah, AI paternalism. Well, that's kind of what it seems like we're getting with the half-elves. I mean, more complicated, of course, because they also are reacting to and living with the discrimination of two different species that they sit in the middle of, right? But especially at this upper echelon of, you know, not just half-elves, but more specifically the angels and really Yggdrasil's clan, kind of that paternalistic idea of, you know, we've seen what you're capable of and we're going to, like, save you from yourselves, as you said. In our defense, we did a really bad job, so that's kind of on you for believing us anyways. Ah, nothing like the holy maintenance tunnels. Suddenly having visions of getting lost in these corridors as a kid. Oh, I don't think we'll be as lost as we were in the gorge or whatever the area was called with all of the air blowing plants last time, though. That was pretty heinous.
That was disappointing.
My poor dog Evie. I've brought, if you can't tell or don't know enough about video production to have inferred this, I bought and lugged a giant green screen into my apartment in order to be able to do this this kind of layering that you have on the stream now. And I can hear Evie wandering around trying to understand, like, what is this giant green wall that now lives in our living room, Dad? Why have you done this? I wish I could explain it to her. Oh, I have to tell the stream this because I was messing around with EX skills before I started streaming, because I don't know, maybe you all would enjoy watching that, but I feel like that kind of menu working minutia does not make for good streaming content, but maybe I'm wrong. Case in point, I found something that I did want to share with the stream, which is pretty cool. I had forgotten this. One of Regal's EX skills is literally called Guilt, and it ramps up his stats when he's in battle with Persea. Talk about, again, weaving in the themes of the story and why we care about these characters to their capacities in combat. Like, really cool, and the game does not go out of its way to point that out to you. Yeah, pretty great.
You're in drill.
Eagle ball.
Rush! Serpent seal! Spirit seal! Don't move away! Moon rod! British fire seal! Rush! Moon rod! British fire seal!
That was pathetic.
A lot of doors blocking our way. I'm a little concerned. I think I might have walked by at least one of the switches, but we can go back. I think there are a few, so at least once we figure out what they look like, it should be pretty easy to find the others. That's gotta be a Shino weapon. Nope, it's a robe. But a Shino robe. Consistent with the naming conventions.
I don't care.
Seal barrier! Serpent seal! Pinion! Serpent spirit! Ready? Acuteness! Don't get in my way! Trust! Serpent seal! Pinion! We won.
Nothing like a little old-fashioned level up. Never gets old, even at level, what, 56? 56! Going on 60.
You're in drill.
Hey, how's the audio balanced in battles? Can you hear me better now over the combat?
You ready for this? Cyclone seal!
Alright! New tech for Sheena. What did we get? Oh, I totally missed her getting Purgatory Seal also. Now let's try that out.
Cyclone
Oh, if the game is too quiet, I can turn up the balance also. I might have overcorrected because I was nervous about it. Here, I'll turn it up a notch. It's so easy now that I have this set up.
Over already?
Let me know if that balances the game a little better. Okay, see, I thought that green thing there was a switch, but that's clearly not the case. Alright. Well, the search continues. It really only clutters it when I have the green screen out, so I'm trying to figure out what the ideal place in my apartment is for like storing the green screen when I'm not streaming. So that's TBD. But without that, no, it's just, I mean, the desk is a little more cluttered, but I wasn't using it for anything else anyways. I feel like I need to like start scheduling more Zoom calls or something so I can take advantage of the whole like audio visual production area that I now have. For point of reference, I do not live in a massive apartment. I am thankful though, I'm in Colorado, so it's a little easier to buy space than somewhere like Boston or New York or what have you, so it's not like I'm in like a studio apartment where it's literally just, you know, my bed and this production space, because I probably would not be able to justify that. I will say though, I know there are many PC gamers in the world who just are used to gaming on monitors, and that's fine, but it does feel to me like a little bit of a silly waste to be gaming in this way when there's like the giant TV that I have for watching TV and typically gaming, like literally on the other side of the green screen. But that's okay. It's nice to be able to have this different environment for gaming with friends. It's always fun to me when JRPGs give like lore-specific explanations for natural phenomena like gravity. But also, this just has me putting on my analysis hat and asking, you know, if Sheena has in fact made a pact with Gnome, then wouldn't it be possible, if the party wanted, for her to just summon Gnome and have him bind them to the ground here? They seem to be saying his power wouldn't reach period. But then if you answered that question, it would be harder to do this room, which relies on really the same mechanics as the sliding on ice puzzle, but now the premise is, you're sliding through the air and can't stop. So, air as opposed to frozen ground. I'm not saying they're not cute together, I don't see the, what do the kids still call it, the one true pairing? Because Tails is great at hitting that note when they really want to hit it, but I don't see it with them. What an unlikely pair to be comforting each other, huh? I love that though. There's also something so unexpected in the found poetry of this empty, silent world. That's a really melancholic turn of phrase. I'm a grown-ass man now, and I still don't totally understand what Zelos's like double entendre or illusion is supposed to be somewhere like that. Like is he just saying like more novel sex positions because there's no gravity to consider? Like, if that's what you're going for, man, especially when your entire character is pervert, I feel like that's a pretty weak joke to make. Are all of the floors blending together for you yet? Because they look pretty samey to me. Son of a gun, we really can't stop there. Okay. Oh, I see the path though. Much easier to visualize these paths to different points in puzzles like that as an adult than as a kid. Ah, but I didn't visualize that I'd be stopped by yet another door.
You're in. Ready? Run!
Boy, that new Cyclone Seal seems to have pretty limited applicability in this area where you only have heavy enemies and flying enemies. Maybe you should switch back for the moment. Alright. I think the bottom elevator... Oh, and there's a door on the right side. A sneaky door. Hard to see. Just gonna send us in a big circle? I don't know if there's a way to get over to the other side from here, actually. No, I don't see one. I think we're gonna have to go back the way we came. Alright, so we did that. And we came from the one that's above it to the top left. Can't get into that pair of elevators on the bottom from here. Can see if there's a way to get to this door on the right hand side. That doesn't look like it. Is this just the way out of the... Yeah, okay. I feel like I'm missing something here. I'll try this elevator again. No, there's just no way to get out of this room. Okay. Have to figure out how to get at it from the other side. I'll try up here one more time, and then give up. So we know the door up is a no-go. I don't even need to go there. I see it. There's not a way from here to there. So, okay, I'm gonna say we probably have to go find one of those switches at least before we can get around down here. Not here, though.
Not much of a discussion.
I honestly might just try throwing a holy bottle after this so I have space to think.
Do not think ill of us.
Well, rain leveled up. I can't be too annoyed. Just wish there were a way to see the whole map at once. But I understand that the navigation is part of the puzzle, blah blah blah. All sound and sensible, but I'm still gonna be mad about it. So we've been this way already. There's really no switch here. Okay. That is a big letdown. That's locked. These are chests, I think. Yeah, okay. Huh. So I have good recall for the area, just not good recollection back to my childhood of where to go next. We'll figure it out. Boy, these dungeons are measurably getting more challenging, though. Like, I did a double take after the stream last time that we really only got through 2 in the entire 3 hours. The Ymir Forest and then whatever that gorge's name is. I keep blanking on it, but neither of them was easy. Like, multi-part puzzles that required traversing the same maze-like map maybe 4 or 5 times in different directions. Okay, so he's not heavy at least. We can lift some of them, and it is very satisfying when we do.
That was disappointing.
I'll bet if I had another human playing this with me, we could combo the, like, Sheena's lift with Regal's aerial tech to get some cool combos going. But alas, I don't think the CPUs are that sophisticated. Okay, I think this is a new area, because I don't remember this guy keeping watch in this way.
50% output station.
Ready? Spirit seal! Serpent seal! Pinion! Spirit seal! That's it? I was just getting started.
All these locks and no keys, my friends. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. Alright. Okay, we're back all the way to the beginning.
Serpent seal!
Ran directly into that attack.
Get in my way.
Are you all ready? Move on. Try this. Mirage infliction.
We won. %50% output should be sufficient.
Annoying. Are you I in the dark? I summon you. Come, shadow.
I'm kicking myself. I totally missed the opportunity to summon Gnome and make my earlier point about gravity. Well, at this rate, she'll definitely go over limit again while we're still in this area, so that's a silver lining.
That's it? I was just getting started.
Okay, I'm gonna say I feel like I'm missing something in this maze, so I'm gonna try to spend a little more time here. I feel like maybe there's an aspect of one of these layouts that's kind of hidden relative to the point of view that might be making things harder than they have to be. Oh! No, I'm just an idiot. There we go. If the puzzle can get you as a kid, chances are good it'll gank you 20 years later, too. Now that is a switch. Okay, we got one. Progress. Oh, so the thing I thought was a switch was a switch. The green sphere we passed earlier, it was just already disengaged. Whatever lock that was. Well, at least it kind of gave us an early sense of what to look for in the dungeon, even though we didn't quite realize it yet.
Ready? That's that.
Okay, now we have to go back and find the red gates. I want to say those were the ones labeled C? Well, we'll find out quickly enough. Oh, this is the lift that doesn't do anything yet. Pretty sure the one in the other room is blue, so let's go exploring here instead. Yeah, okay, this way was not open before. Awesome. Making progress. We glossed over it last time, but since we're still navigating the Tower of Salvation, the thing that Kratos said about it being the same tower in both worlds does kind of break my brain, because like, it's a really hard mental model to wrap your head around, right? Like, you get that these two worlds are connected, and they have this inverse relationship in terms of the energy that they share, but like, if it's a tower, right, that seems to ascend infinitely into the sky, question mark, and like, how would you be able to walk into it from both worlds and arrive at the same place? I think it hurts my head because you might imagine, oh, intuitively, well, if there's this giant like line going into the sky, maybe it connects the worlds in terms of like at one end of the line there's one entrance and it seems like a tower from the perspective of Silverant, but then at the other end of the line is an entrance that seems like a tower to Tetheala. It doesn't seem like that's the case. It seems like they have one and the same entrance to the same place, which is harder for me conceptually. And raises the question of what's on the other side. I don't think we know the answer to that at this point in the game. Maybe since we know that Darius Karlon, this comet, is bound to the duality of the worlds, maybe it's at the top of the tower since it's the home of the angels. But hard to contextualize spatially as we navigate these worlds.
Was that a bit too much?
Not much of a spectacle. Sailing circle. Ready? Spirit seal. Devastation.
Rain is blowing through TP like she's going out of business.
Cyclone seal. That was disappointing.
Nope, that's another blue gate. I might as well save. I have save anxiety so much more now that it like went to a black screen and crapped out once.
One fight after another. Ready?
Autosave is maybe the one quality of life thing that has gotten so good in recent years and just ruined me for these older games. But even with that, I'm of two minds about it because it does make it so much easier to avoid accidental loss of progress, but so much of exploring and understanding old school games, like we were talking about last time, is reloading an earlier save and trying to do something differently or seeing what the other possible outcome is. So it's not a strict quality of life improvement. It does change the contours of your experience with the medium more than you might hope or expect.
Another battle.
Are you definitely fire? Eternal healing circle. Serpent spirit seal. Ready? Field barrier.
That was pathetic.
Boy, Regal's growing in leaps and bounds. Guess he just had to resolve to use his hands for good. The rest took care of itself. I feel like we're going in the wrong direction here. And see, this is the problem with this particular kind of puzzle navigation, because I wish they had something on the walls that indicated once a gate opened, like, yes, this was a gate of the red color, because without those indicators, it's not clear to me when I'm going back through a path that I already traversed versus entering a new area that's just now been opened. Oh my god, I'm gonna throw another holy bottle after this, dude.
Are you okay?
If there were more enemy types, I might be more amenable to this, but when there are basically 3 kinds of automated defense robots that you fight here, it gets old after the 15th battle.
Healing circle. That was disappointing.
The experience is nice, though. Okay, now we did a big loop back to the anti-gravity place. But I thought... I have a vision in my head of one of those doors that should have opened, that we haven't gotten to yet. So I'll see if I can find my way back to that. No, we just did that way. It does seem like the holy bottles make them less willing to chase you at least, which is something. Okay, I think this is a new way. I think. If my sense of direction is right. Yes! Oh, thank God. We figured it out eventually. After looping through the same rooms 5 or 10 times. Now we just have to remember where all the blue gates were, which, for reasons already discussed, is no picnic.
We must be moving. Ready? Triple cuteness. Are you all ready? Move on. Try this. Mirage infliction. All help. I got it. Revitalize.
Goodbye, worthless enemy.
Now that magic was a good get. I'm laughing too because I keep hitting the wrong button on my PS5 controller to trigger the unison attacks, because way back in the day on the GameCube, if memory serves, it was mapped to the Z button, which is where the right bumper is now. So I keep smashing that bumper and not getting the epic combo attack that I'm hoping for. It's a pretty powerful aerial smash. Okay, so now we should be able to go back to the other floor where there was that gate that barred our egress and continue on from there. Love it! That'll take us back to the same room, but in the correct place to advance things. But not before we get some energy tablets. See, I get so used to gels because that's the one thing that's constant across the games that I forget. Like, oh yeah, there's this other, much, in some ways, more efficient HP regen item that I could have been using for a while. I'm sure they have those for TP also. you know, you get in a rhythm with these games, and then it's easier to use what you know than to kind of retrain yourself to whatever new items or variations on items are in the other games, even if it's the same effect but just coded to a different like physical object that the party uses in battle. And now we're in that special little bottom place we couldn't get to before on this map. See, at least it's a cascade where once the level and its puzzles start to come together, they tend to get solved or resolved at an accelerating rate. And I hesitate to say that because I'm sure now that's going to jinx us and it's going to be really hard to get through the rest of this, so I apologize in advance. Okay, that could have been worse. Ah, the keycard from way back when. Now we just have to find our way back there. If only there were a breadcrumb mechanic. And then, of course, I instinctively go back to the switch that was previously impossible to find. Whereas when I was looking for that switch, I ran into the locked elevator door no fewer than 4 times.
I don't care.
Okay, now I'm gonna make the point about summoning Gnome. And then, well, nothing special will happen, but I'll feel vindicated, damn it.
I call upon the servant of God. I summon thee. Come, no.
We did science. Gnome can reach to the Tower of Salvation. Eat it, nerds.
That was disappointing.
Okay, I think if we can go up, yes, we'll find the save point, and that, I think, also grounds me for where we need to go, because I think it's... But I feel like we just went in this direction.
Not much of a spectacle.
I could have sworn it was just directly
Are you okay?
like northwest of the save point. Well, we can work down and out from there at least.
Ready?
Oh, that's nice. So if you're comboing a different enemy with Sheena, And then she switches to Cyclone and has the range to target a different enemy and keep the combo going.
Do not bother us.
Unusually rangy for our girl Sheena. So I'm not complaining though. No, I was right. That's exactly where we were before. Alas. Alright. Up and out we shall work.
You're in trouble. Are you okay?
This is true to my identity even beyond gaming. Streamers, people watching the stream rather, will be delighted to know that I have an equally horrible sense of navigation in real life. Like, even amongst friends from my high school, those guys will still rag on me because I like commuted to my high school every day from a town that I lived in for years, and yet I still literally needed GPS, like Google Maps, to get to any place in like a 10-mile radius of my house. Even if it's a place I've been like many times before, like the next town over, like the big city where people hang out or stuff like that. Oh, gotta tee up the maps or I won't be able to get there. So my failure to orient in space is not just limited to video games. You have to be impressed with my ability to even get through these older games where there's not that hand-holding.
Too much?
I'm sure my sense of spatial orientation is so bad I'd probably be truly lost in the real world were it not for video games giving me some minimal navigational capacity. But we made it, and that's what counts. It's also kind of haunting, like Persea talks about being able to feel the bad feeling near the top of the Tower of Salvation, and when they're imprisoned in Walgaia, you could almost read that as really a kind of PTSD for her, right? Because she's still so fresh off of being locked down developmentally and emotionally from the experiment to grow a Crucius crystal inside of her. So she probably gets that strange feeling exactly because it reminds her experientially of how she engaged with the world back before Lloyd and the gang set her free from that. And then that PTSD is just relegated to the optional side world of skits, which makes it all the like sadder to me as a way of representing how she kind of like stifles it and doesn't even know how to voice it in a way that would integrate with the main story. Really humanizing the character in a seemingly fantastical situation. I think a lot of us can relate to that, one way or another.
That's it? I was just getting started.
Okay, well, so at least you can relate to the being terrible with directions, but yes, I am much more on the end of that sliding scale with your friend, so I apologize on behalf of people who are that piss poor with directions. I lived in New York City for a couple of years, which, you know, is famously on a grid and easy to get around in. And even there, like, I always had to pull out Google Maps, even when I was just walking a few blocks. It almost becomes like a crutch or part of your identity, like, once you get into the rhythm of it, you lean into it, you know? That's at least what I've chosen to believe. Ah, we know so much more about the sword now.
This is the sword Yggdrasil struck me with.
Could this be the Eternal Sword?
If it weren't rain, it'd be a pretty giant coincidence, all things considered.
No way! Nobody'd leave a sword that important in a place like this.
How about we take it to Heimdall and show it to the Elder?
Good idea. That way we'd know for sure.
You have not the right.
Another line that lives rent-free in my head, and has for 2 decades.
Ow! What happened?
A waste of effort.
Yggdrasil.
The Eternal Sword cannot be touched by those who lack the right.
Oh, just the derision dripping from his voice.
The right?
He must be talking about the pact with Origin. That's the sword Yggdrasil tricked Origin into giving him.
You really are a pathetic bunch. It matters not. Origin is under Kratos' seal. Either way, it is impossible for you to wield that sword.
There are always more dimensions to Kratos than meet the eye. It's like an onion, that man.
And without the power of the Eternal Sword, you cannot reunite the worlds. Your journey is futile.
Futile? You're the one who's making futile attempts to bring back the dead. Besides, what does splitting the world in two even have to do with that?
The worlds still exist only because they were separated into two.
No. It's because of being split in two that there's not enough mana, and countless people are suffering.
Think for a moment. Why is there a shortage of mana? Well, what do you think, my fellow kinsman?
Me? Because the development of Magi technology resulted in a large consumption of mana?
Well, that is what we learned in Walgaia.
Yes. And that Magi technology led to a great war. War consumes an abhorrent amount of mana.
Don't change the subject. There's a mana shortage because you won't let the Great Seed germinate.
I am not changing the subject. Even if the giant tree were to be revived, another war would make it wither and die. Wars are caused by two opposing forces. That is why I split the world in two, to isolate the powers that caused that foolish Karlan war into the worlds of Silverant and Tetheala.
By alternating between prosperity and dearth, the development of Magi technology is subdued. So that was your plan.
Although at the moment, Tetheala has prospered for a little too long.
You're lying. You're sacrificing the Great Seed just to save Martel.
I do feel like there's something, I mean, you can code thinking about nuclear weapons and that development into so many stories and cultural objects in general, but I think a lot of video games. And I think there's that idea here too of something along the lines of, well, there's this great seed that if we united the worlds could create this tree that could generate enough mana for everyone, and that would be boundless, but also if you have that much capacity for development and innovation, is it almost inevitable that it would collapse inward and annihilate itself, like the development of science and industry to the atomic bomb or similar?
That's right. The same way you abandoned the declining world of Silverant in order to save Colette.
That's...
What you're doing is exactly the same.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not! Lloyd isn't like you!
What?
Lloyd is looking for a way to save both Colette and the world! You're a coward who gave up!
It is the same thing. I am trying to create a world without discrimination. That is the way to save the world.
A world without discrimination? That's...
Demonstrably different than the two worlds that we've seen so far, for one thing.
People fear and hate what is not normal. They are scared of those that are different, and the solution is for everyone to become the same. By using the X-spheres to eliminate the different bloods that flow through elves and humans, everyone on this earth will become the same lifeless beings.
I'll be completely honest with you all right now. For how much this blew my mind as a kid, I am shocked that I completely and truly forgot this twist up until this moment of experiencing it again. That Yggdrasil wants to mold everyone into, not just eugenically, but into lifeless beings devoid of difference in order to completely annihilate discrimination. Whoa! And remember, starting out the game with concepts like literal human ranches, and that seemed so monstrous at the time. but also primes you to be ready for something so much more monstrous when we get to here. Age of Husks! Exactly.
Discrimination will vanish. That is the grand age I strive for.
Everyone? The same?
Yes, Desions and Crucius both exist for this purpose. The conflicts between the races born from discrimination will disappear, Genus.
People will stop treating us differently? Really?
Genus, don't be tempted, he's the devil!
Genus, don't fall for it.
That's what I said.
Think about how the X-Spheres are made. They're made at the cost of people's lives, like marble. Don't you see what's wrong with that?
With revolution comes sacrifice. If you cannot understand that, then you deserve to die with the others. However, first, you'll hand over the Chosen.
No, I won't let you.
You have no choice.
Round 2! Hopefully we can actually physically beat him this time.
Die, Holy Lance.
Are you all ready? Photon! It's ineffective.
Well, yeah, light versus light.
Mirage!
Those are the only skills Rain has, so what are we to do?
Ready? Field barrier!
Perish. That's all. Graham, perish.
That's because they're one and the same, my guy.
I wasn't strong enough.
Yeah, that was one of my first draws to this game as a kid. I mean, I wish I should just look up the name of this guy so that the next time we talk about him on stream, I can actually remember. But talk about great voice acting and such a like a classic hero's voice, especially like a young hero's voice aspiring to save the world, which is so in keeping with Robin and also Lloyd. Perfectly cast. Oh, he can fly. Well, I do actually want to change my tech for this now, then. Let's go back to... Demons. Scott Manville, that sounds right. A modern classic, that guy.
Holy Lance.
Hey, I'm glad to have you as my my proxy Googler, my on-stream researcher. Okay, so the answer to that was no. We still can't physically beat him, but at least we could survive long enough.
Colette.
Now!
Lord Yggdrasil! You little vermin! You may be one of us, but you shall pay for your treachery.
Why?
Lord Yggdrasil.
Phronema, why are you here?
This big bad leader of the enemy seems to be giving a lot of attention to Genus, you guys.
Sir, new activity in regards to that certain matter has...
Understood. Not always is there a way to save everyone. Remember that. Lloyd, the path you seek is nothing but an illusion.
Why did he let us go?
It can't be. It can't be.
Y'all recognize that flute? You know why Genus is freaking out? If you don't have it yet, I won't
What's
spoil
wrong,
it for
Genus? Nothing.
Lloyd, we must free Colette as quickly as possible.
Right. Let's head back for now.
Quick jump when it counts. Zillow's continuing to be suspicious. Boy, everyone's suspicious of everyone right now. The bold-faced trust of the party that we were extolling in earlier streams is seems like it's taken a bit of a beating between then and now.
My body. I can't move.
I knew that food was suspicious. Oh, that's not food, that's Ewan.
Want to meet your father?
Huh? What have you done with my dad? Kratos? The renegades in Crucius are enemies, aren't they? So why...
Quiet. Of course, the drug should have everyone sleeping soundly.
Drug? Where's my dad? If you've done anything to my dad, I'll tear every last one of you to pieces.
Now, is that the way to act when you're about to meet your father for the first time?
So it was you. You were the assassin who tried to kill me at Haima.
Kratos, if you value your son's life at all, do as we say.
What are you talking about?
I told you there was always more to Kratos than meets the eye.
Release Origin's seal. Otherwise, Lloyd will die right here.
No. Kratos can't be my dad. I can't believe that. I won't believe that.
How does it feel to have your own son reject you like that? I'd guess from your attitude, you don't plan on releasing Origin. If that's the way it's going to be, then you'll just have to die.
One move, and your son dies.
You changed once you got a family. Just like that time 15 years ago, when Anna was transformed into a monster. You lost your ability to fight back.
What?
If she hadn't been together with you, she would have never turned out like that.
What a thing to say to a person.
Such an unfortunate woman.
Don't mock my mom. Kratos?
Everyone's taking blows for other people on this
Are you
stream.
all right? Good.
Ah!
Lloyd, what's wrong? What's going on?
What am I supposed to believe?
Lloyd, calm down.
It's not true. Kratos can't be. The man who betrayed us and made you suffer. He couldn't possibly be my dad.
Lloyd, don't lose sight of who you are. No matter who your parents are, no matter your background, you're still you.
I'm... me?
You're the one who told me that no matter what I look like, even if I become an angel, I'm still me.
The true definition of unshakable faith here in Colette Bruno, ladies and gentlemen.
And don't forget, Kratos saved you.
Over dramatic, but appropriate, I think. I mean, especially the line reading of that scream, that still haunts me. I mean, just imagine, like, what would it be to have this whole narrative of your family, and that's challenged and undermined from the beginning of the game, and then this guy who was a mercenary, and then a teacher, and then a traitor, and is now suddenly your dad, and you have to schematize with that relatively new understanding that you even have of what happened to your mom and her role in X-Sphere development. Like, that's a lot for a dude to process.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks.
This is also, like, I was thinking about it too in terms of what we've talked about in terms of the party always setting forth their intentions to do what's best for the world, even with a limited understanding of the world, and then their understanding of the world updates, and they have to figure out a way to reorient and maintain that same trust in each other and faith. And I think part of what's cool that I didn't really think about as a kid, as an extension or elaboration of that theme, is now in this third act, we're getting people's relationship with each other changing in similar ways. So it's not like suddenly we're learning something new about the relationship between Silveron and Tetheala, but now we're learning something new about Kratos and what he meant to Lloyd. And Lloyd, similarly to what the party did with their understanding of the world, has to like update his frame of reference and figure out how to extend that same trust to Kratos, all the more so since he's, his father figure, literal father.
But I still can't call you Dad.
And that's how Lloyd adjudicated that problem.
Lloyd.
Thanks, but I
hate
can't
what
call you Dad.
What Crucius does. Too many people have died. People from Silveron, people from Tetheala, Desians and Renegades and members of Crucius. They're all victims. I refuse to accept the idea that it's okay to sacrifice people for a cause. It's not okay to lose any life. No life should be born for the sole purpose of dying. I won't sacrifice the world to save Colette. I'm not giving up until I find a way for everyone to live.
Wow, that was an amazingly corny speech. Congratulations.
Brace yourself.
Mythos?
Did you think I didn't notice what was going on? How pathetic. I had Pronema keep tabs on Kratos, since it seemed he was leaking information to Lloyd's group.
Damn it! Yggdrasil! How the hell did you find out?
And circle gets square.
What?
That was a pretty amusing scheme you had going. Hard to believe those filthy renegades that were always getting in my way were actually led by you. If it weren't for my sister's wishes to spare your life, I'd kill you right now.
Puts me in mind of all the moments of corporal punishment and just almost comical physical violence we were talking about at the beginning of the game. We hadn't seen that in a while. But this is vivid.
Stop it! What are you...
What's going on?
Mythos. So it's true.
What's true? That you shouldn't have trusted me? Good guess, Genus. Because I didn't trust you either.
Mythos saved me.
That still haunts me.
Shut up!
Mythos saved me. Mythos.
How could you do that? You even risked your life to save her.
Mythos, why? Why are you doing this? How could you hurt Tabitha and Altessa? You got along so well with them.
Tabitha. That doll looks so disturbingly like my sister. I never could stand her. She's a failed vessel who couldn't accept my sister's soul.
As a kid, I always wanted them to say more about this, and to my recollection, they don't. But I think the implication is, again, we have Mythos wanting to, like, reconstitute Martel over, like, thousands of years, and the Chosen program seems like one way of doing that. But remember, Altessa was working for Crucius, and he made Tabitha, and so presumably he also did that as an effort to serve Mythos and reconstitute Martel, which really makes her character as this thing that is less than lifelike, but also kind of more emotionally human than many of the other characters, really, really unsettling to me.
Just looking at her makes me sick.
You little bastard! How dare you betray my best friend!
Lloyd, stop! Please, you're both my friends.
Lord Yggdrasil, your wounds are not yet healed. Please, leave this to the angels.
Yeah, emotional Uncanny Valley, exactly like we were talking about last time. It's a great point.
Out of the way!
We have no choice.
Spirit seal! Ready?
This is the final.
There's a nice kind of power creep storytelling here too, where if you think about the first arc or act of the story as the journey of regeneration to the Tower of Salvation in Silverant, Remiel goes from being this father figure and guide to the big boss at the end of that, and now here we are hours and hours later knowing so much more, and angels have become this classic enemy type where we can fight three of them at the same time and they're just grunts. It's really satisfying in terms of feeling the development of the party and their place in the
life
world
should be
over
born
time.
for the sole purpose of dying? What do you think those X-Spears are that you're using?
Poor doll. Wow, a sword that divided the world, and without which it can't be reunited, that can only be used by the species that faces the most discrimination. There's something kind of poetic but damning about that when you see the situation that it's wrought. Yeah, that is quite the mic drop, isn't it? I was thinking about this too. They talked in the Tower of Salvation about how Yggdrasil just left the Eternal Sword lying there, almost like he was mocking them because he knew that no one else could use it. I feel like there's a lot of personality in his Hippolyte. I hadn't noticed that. But in terms of hiding things in plain sight and almost mocking everyone, like, I think there's something very similar in how he doesn't even take on a fake name when he's ingratiating himself with the party and acting like he's their friend. Like, oh yeah, my name's Mythos, but don't worry about it. I don't have anything to do with that really famous ancient hero who also has that name. It's like metaphorically putting the sword in front of them and taunting them with it, especially poor Genus. Back to Snowland. So now everyone's broken, feeling helpless and despairing, but at least they have all the right reasons to be, because now we have a pretty good understanding of how the world came to be as it is, and who the real players are behind it, and what it'll take to change it. It's just that the what it'll take part, at this part in the story's overall arc, seems completely infeasible. So what the hell are we going to do about that? See, this game dates itself by being pre-Shia LaBeouf teaching the gospel of just do it. But you're right, that's the glory of remaking it. Now we can just see the answer before us of not letting our dreams be dreams. Just get to the point where anyone else would quit, and then you don't stop there. Just when you thought Zelos couldn't get more suspicious, he goes and gets even the more suspicious. Okay, I think the doctor was this way, if memory serves. You might remember that material was also what they cited in Heimdall as what being really conducive to generating mana, something like that. It was a potent power source that was presumably extinct or depleted or whatever the term is for rocks and minerals. Not extinct, that's wrong. Sheena, I'm a doctor. It's gonna take a lot to phase me, even with your friend who is on death's door. That's everything is awesome to the evil within. That is like such a specific mood. I feel like that's when that's similar to those old movie screenings they would do where you'd play like Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon over like Pulp Fiction or whatever movie you wanted to watch. Sometimes it just works. I do have many a memory of especially Demon Souls. That was the first Miyazaki game that I played on the PS5, and so it was one of the first things that I played on the PS5. So it was something that I was using to basically test out the PS5's features, and so I have many a memory of grinding through Demon Souls to streaming music on Spotify, kind of creating my own playlist. So it's kind of the opposite of what we were talking about last time in terms of video game soundtracks, but I feel like when you can have those unlikely pairings of your own music that's sort of eclectically combined with a video game that you're engaging with, you can sort of discover new themes to your own experience that were only latent in the video game before that, or latent in the music before that, for that matter.
Who is it? Come on in.
Yeah, Demon Souls has grown on me over the years too. I hate ranking Miyazaki games, so I'm not going to do it, but I do have an article that I have shelved for the moment to work on the Tales games, but that I'm working on specifically about Demon Souls because I think it says a lot of interesting stuff that is not said in the other games. This is a key turning point, emotional heart-to-heart moment in the narrative, so let's engage with this.
Lloyd, did I wake you? It's snowing outside.
I was wondering why it was so cold.
Yeah, it's really cold.
You sure sound happy.
Yeah, I mean, I can actually tell it's cold. I'm so happy.
Boy, that is such a specific and with a terrible fate experience that you just described, Chrissy. Now I feel like I have to try that just to experience it vicariously.
That's right. You couldn't feel things like that just a little while ago, huh?
Say, Lloyd, if you don't mind the cold, do you want to go for a little walk?
And see, if you're playing this game for the first time, or you're watching this and you're experiencing it for the first time, and you're just thinking about the vacuum of this moment and Lloyd's relationship with Colette, it is very natural, especially based on the decision-making prompts that you've gotten at previous moments in the story, to just say, sure, let's go for a walk. And you could do that. But I want to show you what happens if you say no. And why I painstakingly figured out earlier decisions to make in the game as a kid, which are burned in my mind as an adult, so I did certain things to have a certain outcome here at this point in the game.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Even with that explanation, I do still feel like a jerk for being like that to her, if that makes anyone feel better.
I'm getting all happy and excited at a time like this, when Altessa is suffering? I'll go back to my room.
Who is it? Come on in.
It's going to be worth it. You have to trust me. You have to trust me.
It's me. Have you looked outside? It's snowing.
I was wondering why it was so cold.
No, you weren't. Colette told you. Come on, man.
Let's go outside for a bit. Come on, it'll be fun.
And if you were playing through this for the... No, I won't go through the whole spiel again, but we are going to also deny Genus.
I'm sorry.
Huh. Fine then, jerk.
It's easier to feel okay about that than poor Colette.
Who is it? Come on in.
Wait for it. Oh.
Pardon me.
Regal.
I was premature with the wait for it.
I apologize for coming late. Would you mind if we stepped outside for a moment? I'd like to have a word with you. Snow. This place is clearly affected by Celsius's presence.
I think I did something wrong. Or they changed it in this game. This was not what I was expecting would happen. I'm going to have to check this afterwards. I'm going to be really miffed if I did something wrong. It was not a big build-up to just having a conversation with Regal. I was thinking something else was going to happen.
It's pretty to look at, but I bet the people that live here have a rough time.
Indeed. The only way to survive in this area is through tourism.
Hey, your company's main business is tourism, right? Do you own any buildings in Flanor?
There should be several ski resorts and hotels of ours in this area.
Whoa, you really are rich.
I'm not the one that built the company. It was someone in my family many generations ago.
Wow, your family's been around for a long time.
The X-Sphere mine produced a great deal of wealth for the family. They most likely sold the X-Spheres through a broker, who passed them on to the Desians. The fortunes I possess were paid for by the blood of the people of Silverant.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
Ignorance is no excuse. If anything, it itself is a crime.
Well, maybe so, but...
That may be part of the reason why Mythos suppresses all life on the planet.
What do you mean?
Humans are ignorant of their sins, while elves turn a blind eye to them. That frustrates Mythos.
Even if that's true, what he's doing is dragging the whole world into a quest for revenge. That's not something that can be forgiven.
If so, I too cannot be forgiven.
What? Why?
For I am on a quest for vengeance against the Crucius.
That's different.
No, it's not. If the ones who turned Alicia into a monster had been human, I might have followed the same path as Mythos.
Your conscience will usually kick in before you get to that point. At least that's what the professor said.
Yes, I'd imagine so. But even still, what we are doing is no different than Mythos.
No different than Mythos?
We are eliminating those who do not share our ideals and those who stand in our way by force.
Well, yeah, if you're gonna put it that way.
Mythos knows that. That explains why he said the things about the X-spheres as he was leaving, about the hypocrisy of our protest against sacrificing lives while using these stones that have consumed people's lives.
He's really starting to get to me.
Are you sure that's not because what he said is true?
Maybe. But just because the logic is sound, that doesn't make it right. I can't stand what he's doing. That's all there is to it.
Yes, perhaps that is all that needs to be said. By putting myself in Mythos' place, I may have been subconsciously trying to legitimize my own justice.
Oh, very good catch. Yeah, I haven't watched that, but I'm not surprised. All the voice actors in Tales, by and large, kick ass and get around.
You always think about the complicated stuff. No one wants to be the bad guy, and no one wants to have to put up with things they don't like.
Everyone thinks the same way. Is that what you're saying?
If you stop and think about the fact that others are the same as you, then you won't do the kinds of things Mythos does. So,
you're going to fight him.
Tomorrow, after we check on Altessa's condition, I'm going to put an end to all of this.
Very well. This chain of tragedy must be broken as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm counting on your support.
You have it.
Well, it was very touching and heartwarming to have a scene between Lloyd and Regal. But I have to cheat now and see if I fucked things up or if I just forgot the path to get what I was hoping to get.
Guys, how's Altessa?
Well, he managed to pull through. Some dudes from Mizuho were hanging out there to guard him, so everything is all right.
Son of a bitch. No, I messed something up. Oh, I'm mad. Well, not going to spoil it now, but I'm going to have to figure out how I messed up later because I'm not even sure what I did wrong. But, one of my favorite parts of this game I've locked myself out of for this playthrough, which is a little disheartening, but welcome to the world of JRPGs. You're seeing now in real time why I play these games over and over again. We're still going to have a different time, but a good time at that. No, it's narratively significant. We'll talk about it when the time comes.
Good. I need to speak with everyone. The world is never gonna change if we just wait for Crucius to make the next move, right? So this time, we're going to strike them first.
Well, so you're finally ready to do it. We're gonna raid Crucius.
Yeah, I have two objectives. Prevent the establishment of Mythos' new age, and release Origin.
But if you release Origin, what about Kratos?
I don't really know yet. We don't know for certain that he'll actually die. We also don't know if he'll side with us or not. We don't have the time to worry about things we're not sure of.
What do you intend to do about the Eternal Sword? Even if you break Origin's seal, you can't wield it, remember? And I doubt either Genus or I would be able to handle a sword.
Don't worry about that. I've got it covered.
What are you talking about?
Why do you think I can use magic swords? I received magic injections with the latest in Tetheala technology. In other words, I'm a human with elven blood in me. That should work, shouldn't it?
Then I guess this will be the final battle.
Understood. Let us end this.
For the sake of uniting the worlds.
Yeah. I'll do my best too.
Colette, I need you to stay behind.
Why?
They want you as Martel's vessel. We'll have either Mizuho or the Renegades hide you.
If that's what you want. No, I'm going too.
But...
I get it. You don't think you can protect her. That is so sad.
Brutal.
What did you say?
Don't worry, Colette. I, the great Zelos, swear to protect you.
Zelos!
Take her along, Lloyd. They're gonna be after her no matter where she is. You ought to know that by now. Be a man! Show her what you're made of!
Wow, we actually have the same opinion for once. Sorry, Lloyd, but I agree with Zelos this time.
All right. Colette will come with us, okay?
Thank you, Lloyd. And everyone else, too.
Does Tetheala really have a technology like that?
It sure does, for some weird reason. Alright, let's go kick some Crucius butt, Lloyd.
Zelos, I trust you.
The most accusatory reading of those 3 words that you could ever conceive.
What? What are you talking about? Well, of course I can understand that you're counting on me.
That's not what Lloyd was saying.
Just place your faith in me.
Faith, huh? I hope so.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Boy, I'm really having some trouble moving on from that thing I missed, but that's okay. I'm flabbergasted at myself because I had that like ground into my DNA as a child, so it must have just been the experience of navigating streaming for the first time that I kind of was off my natural rhythm with it. Back to the tower. All right, excellent. Yes, we're in. Should we call this the 4th act? We're, the confrontation with Crucius. The stakes are all clarified. We can call it the 4th act. So, and one of the themes of the 4th act is everything is very sus. But especially Zealous. Why did... Sometimes these controls are a little too sensitive, I'm telling you. Okay, I've been very clear about my sentiments toward Colette and Lloyd's relationship. Unlike some characters, I'm being very transparent with my feelings and goals. Well, except for the goal of what I was trying to achieve, but that's because the payoff would have been really great. And to show you, I'm just going to stream Tales of Symphonia front to back right after this again. Nah, I'm kidding. But I will tell you about it. Oh. One of those new area drops where it's not immediately obvious which way is forward and which way is back to where you came from.
Leave this to me.
Leave it to you? What are you gonna do?
I figured something like this might happen, so I prepared a little something the last time we were here. Colette, come here for a second.
Huh? Oh, okay.
And kids, they really all gasped.
Now, bring her to me.
Sure thing.
Zelos! What the hell are you doing?
Oh, shut up. I'm just putting myself on the winning side. What you're trying to do is hopeless and meaningless. What's the big deal? Colette wanted to be a sacrifice, remember?
Zelos, you traitor!
Oh, give it a rest, Lloyd. Did you forget what I said in Flanor? I side with the strongest.
Betray you? How amusing. Zelos was our spy from the very beginning. Isn't that right, Zelos?
Is that true?
It's not true, is it? Please say that she's lying.
And if you can't call these all to mind, I'll tell you, if you go back and watch many of the moments after he joins the party, many of the traps they fall into are pretty clearly telegraphed by Zelos in one way or another.
I side with the strongest. It was a simple matter of weighing the renegades, Crucius, and all of you.
You were leaking information to the renegades too? I can't believe you! You were always a pervert, but I never doubted that you were a good person when it came down to
Like
it.
the first time they go back to the mountain they arrive at in Tetheala initially to try to get the Riards, and Zelos has this cool plan for how to get the Riards, and then suddenly everyone shows up from all the other sides.
Why, thank you, my sweet, voluptuous honey. But in the end, I choose this side.
It's true, Zelos would not be the strongest character right now. Although I don't know, if we're talking about stats and abilities, there is something about the magic swordsmen in this game being traitors. That seems to be contagious.
Because Mythos promised to release me from my fate as a chosen of mana.
You hate being the chosen so much that you would betray your friends?
Oh yeah, I do. It's because of that title that my life has been a total joke. I can't stand it. I can't wait for Celeste to become the chosen instead.
You're lying. I still trust you, you hear me? You're the one that told me I could trust you.
What are you, stupid? Let's get going, Lady Pronema.
I get what you were saying in the chat a little while ago about like the animations being kind of stiff in these early 2000s games, but man, the amount of emotion that at least like this little shaking and clenching telegraphs to me about Lloyd, like I'm really amazed they're able to express that much in terms of storytelling with just the degree of motion control that they had at this point in terms of character models.
Lloyd! Lloyd! Lloyd!
Disappear unto nothingness.
Everyone! What are you doing here?
We'll explain later. Here they come.
Damn! Regroup!
Kind of want to work Lloyd back in. I don't know whom to swap out. I'm too anxious about the combat in the game now to swap out Rain. We'll just keep it as is. We'll figure it out later.
I will bid you for good!
Sorry, I just had to read your comment. Yeah, I think, especially in really like games that self-consciously try to be open world with a lot of exploration and stuff, like Final Fantasy 15, I think that can end up being a pretty serious problem. Like, people don't talk about those cases that much when they use the term ludonarrative dissonance, but I think it's a key case of it, especially in terms of modern design principles around open world story creation. Because it is, like, if you truly take advantage of the world and go exploring and do a bunch of stuff before you do, like, the main story, especially if the main story is one of, like, you know, becoming a destined hero, which you also get in Final Fantasy 15 with very specific plot beats of, you know, sort of failure and success along that path, it's very easy for you to kind of get out of sync in terms of your party's experience with what the narrative's saying about you, and then, you know, sometimes there can be interesting stories to tell about that dissonance, but a lot of times it can kind of just take you out of the game and make you feel as if you're missing some of the intended experience. So I feel you there, it's tough.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Why are you all here?
We received a message saying that you were about to head to the final battle. Right now, you must hurry and save Colette.
Right. Be careful.
And you as well.
Is it still active?
Looks like it. Let's go.
Man, I will tell you, I didn't have it, like, nailed down in my head whether I personally would be playing Tales of Symphonia more than once in quick succession now that it's finally been remastered and released, but missing that thing I keep complaining about pretty much sealed my fate in terms of wanting to replay it just for myself. Not that I'll make y'all watch it on stream, but it's that much of a thing that it is worth it to me personally to go back and play it again for it. That is very cool, and I think, actually I'm surprised I can't think of more games that do things like that. I guess it's a hard thing maybe to manage in terms of designing an interactive story, but you're right, I really love even just things that aren't level-based, but, you know, reactions to, like, using certain moves that have narrative meaning against certain characters, or, even, I think there's a lot of flavor text even in Tales of Symphonia in terms of, like, when a party member dies, if someone they care about is in the party, then that person will oftentimes have a specific reaction in battle. Like, I think Regal says something specific if Presea dies on the battlefield, for instance. I can't think of it right now. But that kind of stuff, or even the EX skill that we were talking about earlier in the stream, Guilt, really ties together the interactive and sort of what you would think of as the meta aspects of the story with the storytelling, which is what an interactive story should be all about. I mean, that's why I find video game storytelling so interesting in general, is that it can make all of those little things about your engagement and ways of interacting with the world narratively meaningful, but it doesn't happen on accident. The creators really have to put thought into it, and they often do. And you're really selling me on this Valkyrie profile series. You're gonna have to carve out some time for it. Absolutely. Yeah, you're their #1 cheerleader as far as I'm concerned. So thank you for your service. But Regal, that's our move. We always split into 2 groups. Ah, a suspiciously envined rock. Yeah, I suppose that could do the job. Wow. That is a definitely a high gradation. Yeah, but you know, even if that's the case, like, I feel like if you craft a JRPG world, right, there's just something about the sheer size of those numbers that can be really impressive and feel cool. So I totally get what you mean. Okay, I'm already missing something about the way to go here, because this is blocked off. They must be back in that room we were in before.
You're in real annoying.
Time to get wrecked. Which spirit do we want this time? Let's go back to Sylph. Sylph is fun. Oh, I don't know that we've used Ifrit yet, though. Next time.
Are you ready?
Does Rain really not have any spells to heal status effects? That's surprising to me. Oh, yes she does. She just wasn't using it for some reason.
That's it? I was just getting started.
Ah, yes, okay, so it automatically knocked us off the bridge the first time, but that's not actually how the bridge works. That's kind of a misleading means of introduction to it.
A large group. The opinion. Opinion. Ready? Field barrier. That's it? I was just getting started.
Total whiff.
I'm tired.
I wish there were a way to kill that flower before it drops all the acorns. I don't think that's a thing, though.
Healing circle. Like that. Are you okay? That was disappointing.
All these characters getting all sorts of extra goodies with their EX skills. I am always a big sucker for the skills, and they come up in a number of these games where there's just a random % chance that after battle the stats of a character will increase. It's like a little bonus mini level up. Awesome. Love a new axe. Hanuman. That sounds like a figure from some mythology or world religion that I should be able to tell you but can't. Southern Cross too. Staff that once belonged to a legendary hero. Oh, we got a mystic symbol too. That makes it quicker to cast spells. That, and we'll take the time to equip. I think this is back to where we started. If my sense of orientation is right, which I guess we probably already made clear, it's probably not. This, I think, is the right way forward. Boy, I like listening to these music tracks with headphones too, because I notice little nuances about them that I didn't remember as a kid, like the just the drum track on this one of like those big, almost sound like, I don't even know the right term for drums, but like something big and bass that you would slap with your hands or a big mallet. Really adds an unusual flavor to them. Unusual for this kind of song, I mean. And down it goes.
Not much of a specimen. Field barrier. Serpent seal. Pinion. Healing circle. Serpent. Fire
She always goes for HP before the status effect. Alright, I'll heal it myself. Thanks so much for your help.
Ready? Acuteness. Fire seal.
You gotta be kidding me. Do not bother us.
Why would you go shopping for equipment in a town when all of the best stuff is actually buried under the remnants of great tree roots inside the Tower of Salvation? That's my favorite place to shop. Everything perfectly balanced. That's a Marvel thing, right? I don't know. I admittedly haven't kept up with the movies, but I've minorly kept up with the memes and the quotable lines, which is really as much of that as I can bear to navigate at this point in my life. How's that for a wall? It's so different than some of the other decorative schemes we've seen. I have half a memory that we might want to replenish our kit before we go in here.
What's going on?
Yeah, seriously, and maybe it's a silly thing to say when we're, playing a JRPG at the moment, but even as someone who plays a crap ton of JRPGs, I look at the Marvel Universe now and how much homework it takes to keep up with everything, and I find myself saying, like, man, I'm exhausted before I even start, so why would I do that? Which is saying something for someone like me to be saying that, I feel. Ugh, so devoid of personality they can just literally be kept in stasis until it's time to activate them.
Here they come.
Like a death Roomba or something.
Be careful, everyone. Serpent seal pinion. Run, serpent seal pinion. Be gone. You all ready? Photon.
Mirage infliction! How can this happen?
Ready? Acuteness! Fire seal!
How can this happen? That's it? I was just getting started.
Speaking of memes, there's this old, like from old YouTube, like a spoof of the early episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! I think literally the pilot of that first Duelist Kingdom arc, where they just do this funny like remix or reading of Yugi's line when he just keeps beating Joey at cards. And he says, "I just have better cards." And I feel like that's always what I want to say to these enemies with Sheena. Like, you didn't stand a chance. I just have better cards. She turns this JRPG into the ultimate card game. Yes. I think that's exactly right. That is a great characterization of the angels. These angels kind of are the Alexa. Like, Alexa has more personality than them.
All right.
Regal, no, man.
Regal!
You were our bro. We had that heart-to-heart in Flanor that I didn't mean to have. You can't be the first sacrifice.
Here. Hurry.
You know I can't leave you behind.
There's no time. You know that. You're the only one who can save Colette.
I know that, but I can't just leave my friend.
That's not what you're doing. I once wasn't able to protect someone very important to me. So this time, I'm going to succeed. I'm going to protect my friends.
Regal!
Lloyd, save Colette.
All right. Regal, don't die. Don't make me go through the same pain you did. You hear me?
You sure don't make things easy, Lloyd. I'm sorry, Alicia. It looks like it's still going to be a while before I join you. You shall not pass.
It'd be easier if you used your hands, man. I've said it once, I've said it a million times, but I'll say it again. Every character is special to me in their own way, but Regal hits different, man. Something about that guy's resolve. He's a role model. I think he's a great example of a video game character who can breathe life into a real kind of role model for people. I think he really he gave me a model of what to aspire to as a kid. Well, hey, at least my my chat has consistent character, right? Actually, you know, Tales of Symphonia is inside of the Middle-earth timeline, such that Regal actually said it first before Gandalf, if you look at the deep lore and connect to the texts properly. Nah, I'm kidding. And that was the first and last time anyone called Aaron Sudoku Grandmaster. I'll take it, though. Gotta take what you can get. Well, that's punching above my weight class in terms of when the movies came out. I know this was 2003. Yeah, this was 2003. So when did the films come out? I feel like there's a chest up here. No, it's just those balls that are distracting me. Oh, no kidding. I am woefully on the outside of Lord of the Rings lore, so I will not be able to either confirm or challenge that thesis, but I mean there's that whole like Jesus type arc where he like comes back after he dies, but then he's Gandalf the White, right? Isn't that a thing? That feels right from like what little context I have. I guess now that Lord of the Rings is having this huge resurgence, I should probably do my homework on it.
This thing won't let us through.
Hang on! This thing looks like leftovers from earlier.
You mean one of the giant trees?
Hey, welcome to my life, feeling older every day. I guess I am older every day, so it works out.
Yep, no doubt about it. Just stand back and leave this to me.
The beard reminds me to take my age seriously, at least.
Disciple of everlasting ice! Hammer of godly thunder! Servant of Mother Earth! Envoy from the dark abyss!
Wait, eco-activism gets you to take your age seriously, or? I lost the oh, you're talking about Lord of the Rings. I lost the plot of the chat. Too much going on to manage, you guys.
I command thee! Gatherest before me and unleash thine power!
Fire mini mana cannon.
Whoa, what are you doing?
My impression of the mana cannon. Well, it won't be nearly as powerful, but it should be enough to take care of this thing. Lloyd, when I give the signal, run underneath it. Got it?
I do think it would be cool if Sheena got, like, as a super technique in battle, like a mystic art, the mini or makeshift mana cannon of channeling those four spirits.
All right, but what about you?
Kind of surprised they didn't add something like that in the remaster, actually.
Don't worry, I'll be fine. Get ready. Here we go.
Although maybe they did. We've established quite clearly that I have a propensity for missing things. In this game, I know very well.
Now! Ah!
Sheena, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
That was amazing.
Whew. Just don't ask me to do it again, okay? Whew. That drained all my mana. I want to rest for just
Oh yeah, that's Kamehameha level voice acting.
Sheena, hang on,
I can't possibly rave more about Sheena, though. Everyone knows how I feel about Sheena at this point.
What's wrong with you? Why are you laughing?
No, I was just remembering the time when we first met. Looks like I have a strong affinity for following the rules.
Yeah, that's right.
Just hang on. I'll be right there.
Don't worry about me. Just hurry up and go rescue Colette.
This is not the time to act all tough.
I'm not acting. It's just like the last time when I climbed up from the bottom of that pit and I took you on. And this time, I won't miss the main event.
You better be telling the truth.
Of course. You better leave me a piece of the action.
Okay. I'll be waiting for you. You got that?
I'm so stupid. Stubborn to the very end. I really need to start acting more feminine at times like this and let him rescue me. That wouldn't be my style now, would it? Lloyd, good luck.
Pretty good foil to Colette, all's I'm saying. Oh, but we did just lose the character I was playing as. That's a bit of a letdown. Switch to Lloyd. The line about I should really let him save me, but that wouldn't be my style, is that what you mean? Like aged well or aged poorly? I feel like it aged pretty well. Ooh, Rising Falcon, I want that for sure. Let's put that where Tempest is. I spammed 1 or 2 Rising Falcons back in my day. But it was definitely one of my go-tos. Did I save? I have such save paranoia now. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. I guess I'm just very willing to treat sort of JRPG norms of like the universe of gender roles they create as you know, just one more like element of trope to the genre of storytelling, which obviously you wouldn't do if you were reading it through a critical lens like gender studies or something. But that is not my bag.
Damn it! Open!
It looks like you can control it from here. Leave this to me.
Professor Sage, hurry!
Don't rush me. This is it.
You did it! Whoa!
Ah! Ow!
I think if I I don't think this is me being an apologist to this game. I think just to, you know, point it out, I think a lot of this game is about, you know, what it is to sacrifice yourself or to save someone else in a sacrificing or savior paradigm, right? And so I think it's possible, you know, even not just at the time it was published, but today, to think about like the coding of the way that it relates traditional gender roles, not as, you know, what it's like advocating for or describing as the totality of the situation, but as like an archetype that the characters almost have to wrestle with and overcome, like they do the world and their other relationships and things like that.
Professor Sage, are you okay?
I'm fine. I just made a minor input error.
Be careful, okay?
It's okay now. I'm opening the next door.
Another input error?
No! Now hurry up and defeat
How would that have been an input error, bro? I pressed Control Alt Monster! See, Rising Falcon is great because it hits hard and creates a whole lot of space, so it's harder for enemies to follow up. Oh, you guys are making me feel left out with my Resident Evil gaps. This is the problem with gaming. There's so much good gaming. There's always more homework to do.
This is quite an intricate trap.
Professor Sage, are you really making that many mistakes? Wait, are you...
There's no time to worry about that. I'm opening the next one.
Not again! What? Professor Sage! I knew it!
Lloyd, you need to focus on saving Colette right now. Don't get distracted.
Ah!
I'm tired.
Rising Falcon! Drown! Get up! Spread! Take! Rain! Take! Alpha! Take! Burn! Raging Mist!
I will say, for all of the playthroughs that I went through as a kid maining Lloyd, switching from Sheena back to Lloyd does feel a little bit like the part in Princess Bride when he switches to his dominant hand in the sword fight. It just, feels a little more fluid. No, I know it. Look, they're on my list. First I'm going to play every JRPG in the world, and then, when I'm 4,000 years old, like Mythos and Kratos, I will turn to the Resident Evil franchise.
Professor Sage, it's okay now! Hurry up and come... Professor Sage!
Lloyd, this room will soon collapse. Hurry up and go.
No, I'm not leaving you behind. I don't want to sacrifice anyone anymore.
Sacrifice? When did anyone become a sacrifice?
This is just such a, like, subtle play on Rain's leitmotif, but I love it. It's, like, inspiring, but kind of forlorn at the same time.
I believe in your ideals. A world that would accept those of us caught in the middle. I believe in your vision of the world. It has become my hope. I came all the way here in order to realize that dream. I've no regrets.
Saving the world won't mean anything if we lose you.
My soul will live on in the world you create. But if your ideals die, then my hope dies as well. Living on without hope is worse than death, don't you think?
I don't understand that at all.
If you don't understand, then make use of your remaining life to think about what it means for a person to live. That's my final lesson to you as your teacher. Now go. Do as your teacher says.
Professor Sage! I'll never forget you.
The rest is in your hands, my precious student.
This was so emotionally overwhelming to me as a kid, this part, because it's almost like the way you talk about boss rushes, right? This is more of like a sacrifice rush. Like you have these quick successions of betrayals with Mythos and Kratos and Zelos and everything, and then suddenly everyone is just like reasserting their value of their relationships by sacrificing for the sake of their mission. And that's just, especially after the lengths they've gone through in the story so far to figure out how to save and protect one another and bond and come close as a team. Just the immediacy of them all fully committing in this deeply personal and intimate way to the success of the mission was really inspiring, but as I said, overwhelming. Still is, honestly. Yeah, Rain was a hard one for me too. But hey, we still got our little trio. Literally little, because we're rocking with Genus and Presea. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But it's almost like it's subversive a little bit, right? Because you get so entitled as a JRPG player over tens or hundreds of hours of, oh, I'm going to spend all this time fine-tuning my party and getting all the characters I know how to jam with and the proper formation with all their kit. And then the game kind of slaps you one upside the head and is like, no, but actually, these characters are the one figuring out how to make their way through the world, and you're sort of at the mercy of the mission that they're undertaking, and it's up to you to support them, you know, if they end up sacrificing themselves or if things change. And the winnowing down of the party is a great case of that. Don't know why I looked to equip the shield. There's a complete absence of anyone who can use a shield at this point.
Inside. It's no good. It won't budge.
Lloyd, look up there.
That?
I may be able to enter the room from there. I'll give it a try.
But it's too dangerous to go alone.
I'll be all right. Besides, I'm the only one that can fit through there.
Yeah, for sure. Experience share always makes it easier to manage big parties.
But be careful.
I will.
Yeah. I don't think it's one-to-one, but it keeps it close enough that you can really feel empowered to switch up between the characters without totally hamstringing yourself, which I think is important for being able to fully explore the party in games like these.
I've almost got it.
Presea!
Stay back! Don't come over here. Please, hurry, go!
No, I...
Lloyd, you are a kind person, but if you allow your kindness to interfere with your judgment, you're merely weak. You have something you must do. Please do not forget that. Please go. If you don't, I'll lose my respect for you. I'll be fine. So please hurry.
I'm sorry, Presea.
Lloyd, whatever happens, you mustn't give up. Stand and fight. I know you can do it.
Presea, I promise. I'll rescue Colette no matter what.
Listen, that's the fringe benefit of having to live a part of your life without your soul, right? You learn how to be callous when it counts to motivate people.
And I'll make a world where everyone can live freely.
She is, though. That's part of what's inspiring about Presea to me. Like, she has every reason in the world to be frail and afraid and withdraw within herself, but she kind of, I think, really leans on the inspiration from the party and even her sister and Regal and everything that they had to deal with to not harden herself in a negative way, but to really mold her resolve to make the world better than it was. It takes a lot of effort and discipline. Makes her status as an axe user with that giant wood chopping axe really, I think, metaphorically apt for her entire outlook on the world. Man, I dodged those angels with one hand because I was putting my water down. Not that I don't relish the opportunity to use only 2 members in my party, but if we can avoid it, maybe not the worst idea in the world.
Another trap?
It's coming towards us!
Oh, run!
This whole level really is like the Indiana Jones of set pieces in a JRPG.
It's no good! There's one over here, too!
We'll just have to attack it at the same time and smash our way through!
Is that gonna work?
Dwarven vow number 16. You can do anything if you try. We're dead anyway if we fail. Give it all you've got.
That's just like you, Lloyd. Okay, let's do it!
On the count of 3.
Lloyd.
What?
Oh, nothing. I'm ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Now! See? Look! It worked!
It was pretty good for one of your plans, Lloyd. The only flaw was that you didn't take into account my lack of physical reflexes.
Genus!
I messed up.
You did that to get me out?
No.
Well, kind of was a declaration of love in his way for their relationship.
You knew it would end up like this.
I know what you mean.
Why did you do it?
If you'd been in my place, you'd have done the same thing. You always jump in without thinking to save someone in trouble. But it was that, Lloyd, that I looked up to. I wanted to be like you.
Genus.
Now hurry up, before it's too late.
No way. I can't leave you behind.
I said go! I'm not like you. I'm a coward. When it comes down to it, my body starts shaking. I don't want you to see me looking pathetic in the end.
Genus!
Go! I said go!
You fool!
You were my best friend, Lloyd.
That one always struck me as a kid as the most, like, human and wrenching one, because it really did feel like you were catching Genus in this moment of what probably any of us would be feeling of being just, like, really terrified to face death in that moment of self-sacrifice. Which makes you admire the resolve that they all, frankly, show all the more.
reinforcements.
Oh no, I forgot it was Lloyd alone. Oh, I've made a powerful mistake. At least they scaled down the number of enemies too.
Just as I expected.
It's at least a little fair. I should probably heal up. Oh, we climbed the mountain to level 60 also, if anyone's keeping score. I was really miffed being almost there, so we've hit that classic JRPG threshold. Level 40? Really? Oh, I feel like for the... Well, I was going to say for the kinds of JRPGs that I play, but I'm probably maybe skewed by stuff like the Tales games. But I feel like for Final Fantasy, too, like, I feel like a lot of them cap up at around 60 for reaching the end of the main story. And then, as you say, yeah, hit like... Oh, you said 60 is super boss territory. See, I would see, and I thought I read your message as this, I would think of like 80 for the games I have in mind as like super boss territory, 80 or higher. Yeah, I guess maybe, wow, that's kind of dating me. So I feel like even like Final Fantasy VII, but I guess that is like an older Final Fantasy title at this point, but yeah, I replayed that just a few months ago, and I think hit like 55 or so by the end of that story. Point of no return. Man, thank God someone has physical reflexes. I think that last arrow would have stuck me if I'm being honest with myself. Well,
what's this? Is this some kind
that
of
is
trap?
one that I definitely have on my list, so I'd be excited to experience that firsthand.
And what is this thing? Damn, there's no time to be worrying. I've got to rescue Colette for everyone's sake.
That's right. One versus the universe.
This body has the closest match to your mana signature. I've failed many times in the past, but this time I swear I'll make it work.
So that I think that also makes me think, okay, maybe there's something to the chosen of the past sometimes making it all the way through the journey, but they just happen not to have the right mana signature, and so then they're also just killed and discarded. I think a lot of the failures we saw in the Tower of Salvation are probably people of that category. Look, 2 swords is better than 1 sword, and certainly better than no swords. It's often God, but is it always God? I mean, I guess angel, but not the kind of angel you would usually think of in a JRPG in Symphonia.
The mana charge is complete, my lord.
Good. Do it.
Let her go!
Lloyd, how did you get in here?
Yeah, I think Chrono Trigger is my favorite example of, I think, pretty literally that, if I remember the beginning of the story. You have to do something very banal, like save a cat in the town before everything goes nutso.
The lock to this room can only be opened by a member of the Crucius High Order.
None of your business. What matters is that your selfish dream ends here.
A futile effort.
We won't let you lay a finger on him!
Ah, they all live to see another day.
Guys, how did... You're okay?
How about that?
I told you I wouldn't miss the main event.
We can all breathe the collective sigh of relief.
You did not want to share the same pain I do, correct?
I can't possibly miss seeing the new world that's about to be made.
I can still fight. As long as I can fight, I will stay by your side.
Pretty good, huh?
Everyone, all right, let's take him on together.
What a sorry lot. Pronima, it is your fault they are still alive. Kill them!
Just wait, you'll see.
Yes, sir.
All will be revealed. It's not a Deus Ex Machina. How about this track of redemption, by the way, this musical track? Loving this. Yeah, maybe I'll stick with Lloyd for a bit. Feels like the thematically right way to deal with this battle.
I shall expel you of your flaws.
That's interesting. So at this point in the story, when Lloyd is still reeling from the revelation about Kratos being his dad, he still has the "I'm sorry, Dad" flavor line when he dies in battle. I didn't remember that. Yeah, it's a bit. Honestly, I'm still shell-shocked from those dragons we had to fight back when Rodile had kidnapped Colette, though. That was the most brutal difficulty jump for me. For Nima, it makes sense, because we fought her once before. Now she's really giving it all she's got. She's in front of her boss, too, so she's incentivized to perform. Yeah, exactly. I need more money for fancy outfits for all the people who run my literal human ranches. It's also nice that this very triumphant battle theme doesn't get overridden by like a, oh, this boss is going to be hard theme. Like it's pure triumph during the entire fight. Which I guess would be pretty narratively dissonant if you subsequently lost, but I'm pretty confident we have this in hand, so we can just enjoy it.
You okay?
Ready? Prism sword! Healing circle! Healing circle! Infliction! Can't believe I lost twice to this wretched lot. Tiger! Lloyd, you need to remember
Eat it.
the enemy's weakness.
Oh man, you're making me study here too?
Yeah, study the weakness of this boss we've now defeated for the second time, hopefully permanently. Yeah, don't worry, I've been part of that narrative dissonance too. That's why I was afraid I would be jinxing myself.
Lord Yggdrasil, it hurts. Please, help me.
I've succeeded. Martel is awake.
Lord Yggdrasil, Mythos, please.
Only my former companions can call me by that name. Get out of my sight!
Wow. Killed her
That's
himself.
so cruel.
Yeah, truly can't be bothered. One of the more monstrous things, even by Mythos' standards.
Dear sister, you finally come back to me.
No. Colette! It can't be true!
Mythos, what have you done?
Man, I also totally spaced on the fact that he actually succeeds in doing this.
Martel? Oh, you mean my body? I hasten my growth to have an appearance befitting the leader of Crucius. Wait just a moment. I'll switch back to my old form.
No, Mythos, not that. I've been watching all this time, unable to move, unable to do anything. I watched all those foolish things you've done. Have you forgotten everything? We stopped the ancient war because we dreamt of a world where humans, elves, and those in between could live in harmony.
What are you saying? This after all the trouble I went to prepare a new body for you? But I see. You don't like that one, do you?
Mythos, please, listen to me. What you have done is wrong. It is not what we strived for.
Wrong? Are you rejecting me?
No, I want you to remember. Please stop this and become your old self again.
Martel? Even you reject me? No. Martel would never say something like that. I won't allow that. Do you hear me?
You okay, Lloyd?
The once traitor returns.
What are you doing? I thought you wanted me to set you free of your fate as a chosen.
Oh, you know what? I changed my mind. That won't matter after we beat the snot out of you anyway.
Zelos, I knew you'd come back to us.
Sorry about all that. It was the only way I could get my hands on this. Here. Refine that with dwarven arts, and it'll let even a human use the Eternal Sword.
Are you saying you did all that just to get this?
That's right. This stupid chosen released us from those traps back there.
But it is true that I deceived you. I've held you guys back for a long time. I figured I'd at least have to do something like that to make up for it.
If you want to make it up to us, hurry up and fight.
You got it.
Damn you! Give me back my sister!
Goodbye, Mythos. This is my final wish. Please, return this twisted world back to its original form.
Man, can you imagine poor Martel in, like, prolonged sleep paralysis, just watching the entire world be turned into this horrible dystopian place purely in service of what her own brother thought she wanted? Talk about a living nightmare.
No! Martel! Don't go!
If things are going to end up like this, perhaps the elves should never have left Darus Carlon. If they hadn't, people like us would never have been born.
Man.
So that was it. Martel, you just wanted to leave this filthy world and return to Darus Carlon. Yes, of course. That world is the homeland of all elven blood.
Mythos?
Yes, dearest sister. Let's forget these filthy creatures and return home together. To Darus Carlon.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for tuning in again. Hope to see you again next time. We're really getting into it now. It's great having you in the chat.
Everyone! We have to stop Mythos. Martel is calling to me. Martel wants us to stop him.
Shut up! Martel would never say something like that. You miserable failure.
She did say it. She was crying. She said, please, don't make everyone suffer any longer.
Lloyd, you understand, right? If we lose the Great Seed, we'll betray the Renegade's hope.
And we of Mizuho won't stand it either. Without it, the giant tree will not germinate.
Without mana, the land will die.
If your goal is the reunification of the world, then...
I know. We're gonna stop Mythos with everything we got. Let's go!
Third time's the charm.
I won't let you interfere.
I will kill you all!
That's a line reading I've always remembered. Oh, you need Lloyd Jr. Party for this one. He already was in our party. Game, what are you doing to us? Well, you're giving us a chance to heal at least, so maybe I shouldn't be looking a gift horse in the mouth as I think of it. Alright, let's do this.
Why can you not accept the ideal world that I have envisioned?
How can your world be ideal when you have killed countless innocent people?
Human, don't tell me what's right and wrong.
Hate Death Eater!
Cuteness!
That's all.
Eternal Destiny! Healing Circle!
That's all.
problem with bosses who have these great guards is I feel like by the time we finally break the guard and out of juice in the combo, it's hard to keep going with it.
That's all.
Ready? Field barrier! Sword range alpha! Cuteness! Punishment!
Death Eater!
Eternal Sword range!
Death Eater!
Healing circle! Sword range! Falcon!
That's all.
Help is on the way! Demon healing circle!
Okay.
Well, that was good timing for that healing circle, at least.
Here we go! Devastation! Demon fire! Photon!
No weapon!
Healing circle!
Death Eater!
Insert yourself.
Carolyn, here's payback.
There's a laser named after him? Well, if I had known that, never would have taken this challenge in the first place.
Sorry.
That's all. Do not overexert yourself.
Oh, can't get away!
That's all.
Oh, and I missed the timing. Oh, that really bums me out. Speaking of nuclear weapons, the Tales of Symphonia attack and Tales game attack more broadly, that's basically dropping a nuclear bomb. Indignation.
Death Eater!
Don't get in my way. Ready? Rising Falcon!
That's all.
Prism sword!
That's all.
Ready? Acuteness!
Heal.
Death Eater!
That's all.
Help is on the way. Healing circle!
Great! Okay.
Grant us the
God shows no mercy.
That's all.
You can stop time? Wow.
Die! Prism sword!
I feel like they might have added this, because that's something I remember from Tales of Arise, and I have no memory of that playing this as a kid. And believe me, as a kid, that kind of attack of freezing time for your enemies definitely would have left an impression on me. That's interesting. Because they said that the Eternal Sword lets you manipulate time and space, and the enemy I'm thinking of in Tales of Arise actually has an oblique but clear connection to Origin. I'm interested. Alright, we're getting there.
Death Eater!
Nurse!
Jesus. Why is it so easy for enemies to spam attacks? They don't let us do that. It's gotta be almost... Oh yeah, we got it.
I won't die until I save Marcel.
Alright, third time's the charm.
I cannot lose. I'm going home. I'm going home with my sister.
It's over.
Is it? The worlds are still split. The giant tree has not yet germinated. What exactly is it that's over?
Good timing. I wanted to ask you something. What was it that you saw in Mythos? Why did you help him seal Origin?
Mythos was my apprentice and a valuable friend. Isn't that enough?
Do you forgive anything someone does, no matter how horrible? Just because he's your friend?
I don't see a need to explain myself further. If you want to release Origin's seal, you must defeat me.
Kratos, wait!
I'll be waiting for you before the seal.
Lloyd, let's head back first, okay?
Everybody's still got their secrets. Well, I say everybody. Zealous, at least. He's perhaps a little more coy than most in this world. Alright, well, I would call that a stream for the books. We managed to heal Colette. We discovered the identity of Lloyd's father. That was huge. Had to deal with all sorts of betrayal from Mythos, but took the fight to him. Watched everyone sacrifice themselves, only to be saved by the one who made a farce out of betraying them in the first place, our boy Zelos. And I famously messed up on one of my favorite parts of the game, which we'll talk about when the time comes, probably around the end of our adventure together. Yeah, thank you for watching again. Always great having you. Hope you've enjoyed the new setup. Hope it makes the experience a little more enjoyable and interactive from the viewer perspective in a positive way. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, hanging out, talking video game stories, loving revisiting Tales of Symphonia, loving doing it with you all. And come back again, same time on Friday. We'll be here, 7 p.m. Eastern. Turn up. We are getting into the final motions of the story now. The stage has pretty much been set, and we know what needs to be done. So let's figure out how to make that pact with Origin and reunite the worlds. Cheers, everybody. Have an awesome night. Till then.